Google's getting into the carpooling space with a new pilot program launched in San Francisco. Do Uber and Lyft need to be worried that the tech behemoth is barreling through? Well, maybe not. Dan Costa, editor-in-chief of PCMag.com, is here to explain why. Dan, great to see you today.
Thanks for having me.
So the pilot has to do with Waze, which I personally love. I use it all the time. The navigation map that Google purchased in 2013. How does Waze work into this ride-sharing plan?
Yeah, well, Waze is going to be the social platform that they're building this ride-sharing platform on. Waze is known for directions and real-time traffic updates. I'm a user. I'm a big fan of it as well. And they're going to layer on this ride-sharing service so that you can see where other drivers are. If you're going in the same direction, you can offer up your ride. You can share a ride with them. And there's going to be some costs that can offset too, so you can get somebody to help pay for the gas. Right now, that's not going to be the same thing that Uber's delivering. But long term, you see this mixing up of taxi service, car ownership, and ride sharing, and all these companies are running experiments.
And I'm glad you just said that, because I want to dig into a little bit more about how this is different from Uber and Lyft and whether this could potentially be long-term competition for them.
Yeah, I mean, so right now, you're not going to be able to have a car on demand the way you would with an Uber or a Lyft that picks you up wherever you are, takes you wherever you want to go. That's not what this Waze pilot program is about. But long term, if you look at, Google's is testing self-driving cars right now in Mountain View. They're looking at delivering self-driving cars. Ford is looking at building self-driving cars that could perform these same types of services, point-to-point automated driving, almost like smart buses. So all these companies are working towards a future where there's no driver in the car, and it's really going to change what we think of when we think about car ownership.
It certainly is, and we've got both Uber and Lyft spending a lot of time, a lot of resources on making sure passengers are safe, secure. Has Google mentioned this as part of its pilot program?
Yeah, I mean, once we go to self-driving, I mean, there's a ton of safety issues that come up. When you're sharing, your program and you're sharing your car, there's going to have to be some validation and some authentication there. But I mean, this is the early days. I think more than anything else, they want to see how crowdsourced ride-sharing is affected economically and socially, what makes people use the service, what makes them not use the service, and then they'll iterate from there.
And I got to tell you, this makes me think of Elon Musk's master plan, part 2. Google and Tesla's plan to seem to be less about convenience, more focused on saving money, conserving energy and gas. What are your thoughts on this? Will this plan take off, and will we see a lot more ride sharing in the future in light of how many players are getting into the space?
I mean, there's been a lot said about how millennials aren't buying cars anymore. The data is actually a little bit mixed on that, but what you can see is that ideas and thoughts about car ownership is shifting across all demographics. And we're getting to the point where if you can get a ride anywhere you want to go, anytime you want it, you start to look at that car sitting in the driveway for 10 hours a day and see that as a wasted resource and a very expensive resource. So there's a lot of opportunity here to sort of defray that cost and change the way those vehicles are used. And all these companies are trying to figure out that magic formula.
Yeah, and certainly as we move towards, I guess, that goal, it also seems to me it's really worth noting the fact that the actual technology that's involved in streamlining the driving process and getting you around traffic, et cetera, like what Waze does, is really, you can't overlook how important that is to this entire space right now.
Absolutely.
Well, Dan Costa, thanks for joining us. Thank you for watching. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.